Hey everybody, good morning to you as we ease into your Tuesday morning, and we expect some implications of Gordon moving into the northern Gulf. Here's the very latest from the National Hurricane Center on Tropical Storm Gordon. The latest reconnaissance and the latest advisory had Gordon kind of to the west-southwest of Tampa Bay with winds of 60 and gusts to 70. It's been holding steady at about that sort of speed in regard to its forward speed and its wind speed around the center of circulation. Now the storm's kind of ragged, a lot of showers and storms on the eastern side. See, the center's here. A lot of the thunderstorms are to the south and east, not much going on the western side. There's some hostile atmosphere out ahead of it right now. But as we go through the day tomorrow, later today, that hostile environment will become less so, becomes more favorable for the potential for strengthening. So you see the forecast from the Hurricane Center has very little veering of this system. It heads to the west-northwest, gaining some strength as it approaches the Mississippi coastline, as it will likely become a hurricane just prior to landfall. You'll see that this cone of uncertainty from the Hurricane Center is not that wide, but the north and northeastern quadrant of the storm as it presses inland will be grazing the panhandle throughout the day on Tuesday. The storm then heads up into the Mississippi River Valley, where it will likely stall and become a pretty big rainmaker for the middle of the country, as you see that hooking up toward northern Missouri and Iowa over the next 5 days. So here's what's going on right now with the current watches and warning. The hurricane warning remains in effect. This is the red shaded areas out over the Gulf, the inland areas of coastal Mississippi and coastal Alabama, including Mobile Bay to the Florida-Alabama line. Now there's a tropical storm warning in effect for the orange shaded areas out over the Gulf, and then the inland areas of coastal Okaloosa, Santa Rosa, and Escambia County. Again, that is a tropical storm warning. That means either hurricane conditions to the west, tropical storm conditions to the east are likely in the warned area over the next 24 hours. There is also a high surf advisory in effect for the panhandle beaches of Walton Bay, Gulf, and Franklin County. Surf that could come up to 4 to 6 feet, maybe even higher over the next 24 hours. That's going to cause some coastal overwash, some beach erosion, and some minor storm surge flooding is possible as well. Here's the latest radar representation of Gordon, and you see there's lots of rain that has stretched out to the north. The center of circulation is here. So all the storms currently are on the eastern side of Gordon as it moves to the west-northwest and away from the panhandle. And it's likely it will strengthen some. In fact, as you look at our high-resolution futurecast, we'll begin to see some outer bands lashing the panhandle by about 8 o'clock Central Time Tuesday. So in about 8 hours from now, we'll see the northern edge of Gordon. Because it's going to be moving so quickly, it's going to cover this northern stretch of the Gulf fairly quickly. We'll be through these whipping bands of rain from time to time. Now here's where there is an issue with isolated tornadoes. Landfalling tropical systems to the right front quadrant, always a spot to look for potential tornadic development because of the wind shear that occurs in and around these systems, in these outer bands especially. So watch out tomorrow afternoon and evening for that potential. As the storm lifts up into the Mississippi River Valley, there's still going to be some passing showers all the way into your Wednesday morning. So how much rain could we expect? Well, it looks like if this current position and intensity plays out, here's the computer model representation of the rain that could fall. Now again, this isn't going to be accurate or exact, but it's kind of a broad brush look at what we could see over the next 24 to 36 hours. And as you see, some spots, especially near the coastline, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches of rain possible with those bands of rain that come around Gordon. Now in regard to wind, the tropical storm force winds and the hurricane force winds will likely be just offshore. But there's going to be enough of these bands of rain that will have gusty winds in them, and you'll see from time to time, watch your wind potential here, 25 to 30, close to 40 miles per hour in a few spots as we go through your Tuesday into Tuesday night and into Wednesday. So not everybody's going to see tropical storm force winds, but everybody's going to have the chance for some of these weather impacts. 25 to 40 mile per hour with the strongest winds near the coastline. Rain 3 to 5 inches with localized heavier amounts. There's going to be a storm surge potential, especially in the western panhandle, of 2 to 4 feet. Now, so the water's going to come up, and on top of that, you're going to have a lot of waves, so there's going to be that beach erosion problem. And then the threat for isolated tornadoes, it's a low threat, but it's not zero. So be prepared for all of these impacts. Now, that includes street flooding, sporadic power outages, beach erosion and possible storm surge flooding. Bays, the water may come up just a bit. We're just going to watch that throughout the day on Tuesday, later through the day and into the afternoon and evening hours as we get set for the approach of Gordon, the passing of Gordon, and the intensification of Gordon, which should occur overnight tonight and especially during the daylight hours of Tuesday. So that's a look at the latest wrap-up, if you will, of Gordon and what its potentials are. We're going to continue to update you here throughout the night. Ross will be with us through the nighttime hours. I'll come back tomorrow, and Lucy will be with us as well through the overnight, through the day tomorrow, and we'll carry it on through the overnight as well into Wednesday morning, just to make sure you're covered and aware of all the impacts and to keep you and your property safe and ahead of the storm as we continue to cover it here from News 13. So that's a look at the latest on Gordon as we go through the night, and we'll continue to update you as well. And you check us out on Facebook and all of our social media sites, and by always, check us out on mypanhandle.com. From the 13 First Alert Storm Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Justin Kiefer. Thanks for checking us out. We'll see you later.